In today's video, we're going to be reacting to an animated story time about a girl who's in a billionaire family, but she's still poor.
I guess my life was a bit different to most kids. I spent a lot of time on my own.
Honestly, girls, seeing that is literally me. I don't leave my house whatsoever. Like, I've got zero friends. Well, I know I say I've got zero friends, but I do have friends, but I just don't really see them that much.
I don't mean I didn't have friends. I had lots of friends, but my parents left me on my own a lot. I pretty much brought myself up.
Okay, why did her parents leave her on her own? I'm interested. Come on, sis, tell us.
My parents had very busy jobs. I don't really know exactly what their jobs were, but whatever it was, it took them away a lot. I didn't really mind. I was used to looking after myself. They traveled to lots of different countries. They would leave me by myself for 2 or 3 weeks at a time.
Oh my gosh, they really are gone for a really long time. I want to know what they're doing. She doesn't know what they do as a job. They're billionaires and they're always traveling the world for weeks at a time. I hope they're not doing something illegal.
When they came back, they would bring me lots of presents. I kind of enjoyed it when they went away. I could do whatever I wanted.
Honestly, that would be really good. Like, did she live in a massive mansion? Imagine being alone with loads of money and just like yourself. That's low-key what I'm like. Like, I like being on my own. I just wish I was in a mansion. I'm in a really tiny room.
When my parents were home, they were always whispering to each other. They would send me up to my room. Your mom and I need to discuss some work stuff. Dad would say, just go to your room. You'll be bored listening to all this. Dad was really fun when he was around. I thought he was the best dad in the world. Only one thing he was super strict about. I wasn't allowed to touch his computer.
Why isn't she allowed to touch his computer? What's on his computer? Yet again, I've got a feeling they might be doing something slightly illegal. Maybe it's because he's got like all of his bank info in there. I don't know. I mean, I'm not allowed my parents' stuff, even though I could get into it if I really wanted to, but I still wouldn't. But to be fair, that's like me. Like, if my parents try to touch my stuff, I literally grab it out of their hands. There's no real reason why. It's just like, I don't like them touching it.
I didn't know why. It's not like I was gonna break it or anything. I remember one time Mom and Dad had gone shopping. I was in my room doing my homework. Suddenly, the battery on my laptop died. Oh no, I thought, just my luck. I only had a bit more to do and then I could go out to play with my friends.
Does she not have like a charger? Whenever you get a laptop, you get a charger. Please don't tell me she's gonna go onto her dad's computer. Do you not have like a little charger that you plug into it and then plug it into the wall?
Now I would be stuck here until Mom came home and I could borrow her laptop. Then a thought came to my head. I would just finish my homework on Dad's computer.
But why are you gonna use his computer when you can just charge your computer? What type of computer does she have? Does it like run in batteries? I've never seen that type of computer before.
It would only take me 5 minutes. He would never know. I ran downstairs and sat at Dad's desk. I switched on the computer and heard the monitor come to life. Suddenly, the door flew open and Dad was standing there.
You're gonna get confronted. You better jump off that computer. Dads are always so protective of their things. But to be honest, that's like me, especially of technology. You can take my clothes, but don't take my phone.
What are you doing? He screamed at me. Get up to your room. You're grounded for a month.
She got grounded for a month for just going onto your computer. Yet again, what is on his computer? Like, if I were her, I'd report him to the FBI. Something sketchy's going on.
What is wrong with him? I thought. I couldn't believe he would get so angry. I went up to my room. It's so not fair. Dad just treats me like a baby. I can't believe I'm grounded, I thought to myself.
Exactly, you literally are treated like a baby. How are you grounded for a month just because you went onto his computer? You didn't even log in. If she doesn't know the password, she's not going to be able to get in. Her parents just need to give her a computer charger. Remember, they're billionaires, they'll be able to afford it.
It was about 2 weeks after that when Mom said that her and Dad had to go away again for work. To be honest, I was quite happy they were going away. I was still grounded, but they hadn't said I couldn't have any friends come over. As usual, Mom had made lots of meals and put them in the freezer for me.
At least her parents are preparing meals for her. Like, that's quite sweet. But like, imagine if they come home early and she's got friends over, is she gonna get grounded for another month?
All I had to do when I came home from school was heat one of them in the microwave. The days went by, and before I knew it, they had been away for over 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh, 3 weeks? That's so long. What's the longest I've been away from my parents for? I think it was a week and a half. It was whenever I go on school trips to go skiing. But like, imagine your parents just casually leaving you for 3 weeks at a time.
It's not like them to be away for this long, I thought. Hope they're not much longer or I will run out of dinners. I opened the freezer and looked at the meals lined up. What shall we have tonight? I thought. Lasagna or chicken pie?
Oh my gosh, as if her mum has proper made her lasagna. Do you not know how long that takes? But like, they're billionaires, do they not have like a chef, or could she not like order McDonald's or make her own food? Honestly, toasties are so easy to make.
As I stood there thinking about the choices, I suddenly heard a loud knocking at the front door. Wonder who that is, I thought, as I walked towards the front door. When I opened it, I saw 2 policemen standing there.
Oh no, that isn't good. Either they're gonna confiscate the dad's computer or they've died. What's gonna happen? Oh no, that's so bad. What happened to the poor parents?
Are you Casey? They asked. Yes, what is it? I replied. You'd better sit down, they said. As they led me into the lounge, I knew something bad had happened. They sat me down and told me that my parents had been involved in a car crash. I'm sorry, one policeman said. Neither one of them survived.
That's a really blunt way to put it. She literally just lost her parents. What's gonna happen now? How old is she? She's literally gonna be put into care. Like, does she have any other family that can take care of her?
They must have been surprised that I didn't cry, but they didn't say anything. Are they at the hospital? I asked. I want to see them. I'm sorry, said the other policeman. That's impossible. We didn't find their bodies. How could that happen? I thought. This seems really weird. I wanted to ask more questions, but I just felt numb. I sat there and listened as they explained that I would have to go to stay at an orphanage until they could find someone who wanted to adopt me.
Wait, but where are her parents' body? That doesn't make any sense. How can they have died in a car crash but they don't know where the bodies are? Something fishy's going on. Like something ain't right.
I wanted to say that I could look after myself, but I didn't. I knew no one was going to want to adopt me. I was 15 years old. People wanted to adopt cute little babies, not annoying teenagers.
Not necessarily. If I was ever going to adopt an animal or a person, I would always go for a slightly older one. It might be fun in games having a wee puppy, but you literally have to take care of it. But whenever it comes to older dogs and like teenagers, they kind of know how to take care of themselves, if you know. And then I feel like people only get puppies just for whenever they're a small puppy, and then whenever they grow up into an actual dog, they get rid of them. It's kind of sad that that happens, but like imagine getting a teenager. That would be so much fun. I feel like you could connect with them so much better.
They told me to pack a few things in a bag, and then they took me to the orphanage. When we got there, a gray-haired old lady opened the door and smiled at me. Come in, Casey, she said. I'm Maggie. I'll show you to your room. I followed her upstairs and along a corridor with lots of doors. When we got to the end, she opened the last door and we went in. There were 3 beds in the room. I could see the other 2 beds had girls in them. I went over to the third. Try to get some sleep, she said. The other girls smiled at me. They seemed friendly, but they had probably been told to leave me alone.
It must be really weird for her because she's literally going to be sharing a room with multiple girls. How many kids are in orphanages? Like, an orphanage is for kids who have lost their parents. Oh my gosh, that's probably a lot of children. That's really sad.
I lay in bed thinking about my parents. I felt guilty that I wasn't crying, but I was used to being on my own. Eventually, I fell asleep. The next morning, I went downstairs to breakfast. The kitchen was really noisy. There were boys and girls of all ages chatting and laughing and fighting over pieces of toast and glasses of milk. As I sat down, they all gathered around me. What's your name? How old are you? Do you like football? The questions were coming from all directions at the same time.
At least they're actually trying to speak to you and being nice and friendly. Whenever you watch movies, like, orphanages are never seen as a good place. Like, they're kind of seen as a place where really rough kids go. But like, all them kids seem really nice and friendly. Like, they want to be your friend. You should become friends with some of them and then keep in contact.
I looked around me, bewildered. Thankfully, the door opened and Maggie came in. She told them all to leave me alone and get on with their breakfast. Come and see me in my office after breakfast, Casey, she said. I went and found Maggie's office. Come in, sit down, she said, smiling. We have some great news. We have found a family that wants to adopt you.
Okay, that's really good that a family wants to adopt her so quickly. Is this the family of billionaires? Maybe her biological family were poor, but these are going to be the billionaires that put her into like a big fancy house. I don't know, I guess we're about to find out.
They are coming to pick you up this afternoon. I couldn't believe they had found someone so quickly. I got all my things together and sat waiting in the front room. About an hour later, I saw a big, black, expensive-looking car pulling into the driveway.
Okay, so she is getting adopted by a family of billionaires. That must be so good. Like, I know it's really sad that you've lost your parents, but imagine getting adopted by billionaires. You're literally going to be living in luxury. So this family's obviously adopted her, which means they wanted her. So she's literally going to be part of their family and they're going to love her. That's so good, because if they're like big business people, they can maybe teach her a couple of tricks and then she could become a businesswoman.
The woman looked like a movie star. She was beautiful. The man was wearing a suit and had a big gold watch on. Maggie introduced me to them. You are going to live with Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, she said. I felt a bit nervous, but Mrs. Johnson smiled at me and said, Hello, Casey. We are so happy you are coming to live with us. We got into their car and set off for home. On the way, I chatted a lot. I didn't want them to think I was a sullen teenager.
At least they're having a conversation with her. That's a good step. I wonder if they've adopted any other kids or if she's going to be an only child.
I asked Mrs. Johnson what her job was. They both just laughed and looked at each other. Mrs. Johnson doesn't work, said Mr. Johnson. She will be staying home with you.
It looks like the man is the businessman. He's the man with the money. I wonder what he does. Like, how can you become a billionaire? That's so fascinating.
I couldn't believe it. I was finally going to have a mom all to myself. I sat there for the rest of the journey, dreaming about the things we could do together. Baking, watching movies, maybe even gardening. But things didn't really work out that way. You see, the Johnsons had never had children. They didn't really want me around them. Oh, they gave me everything. Their house was huge and had a swimming pool. I had a beautiful room with everything I wanted in it. They had lots of parties for their friends, but they always sent me up to my room.
Oh, so they don't really love her. Oh no, I kind of feel bad for her, and I feel like that's what it's like with a lot of like rich families. They kind of forget about the kids, or they like the thought of having kids but don't actually want to be there to love them and spend time with them because they're so rich, famous and fancy.
How come I feel more lonely here with a house full of people than I did when I was actually home alone, I thought. Because the Johnsons lived in a different area to my parents, I had to change schools. They didn't want me to go to the town school anyway. They sent me to a private school. Everyone at my new school was posh. They weren't like me.
Everyone there's gonna be so stuck up. Ew. There's kind of schools like that close to me where like all the rich people go to. Well, it's not really rich people, but like parents pay a lot of money for their children to go there. But you can tell straight away what type of children go there. Like if you see a kid out in the street, you know that they go to that school. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not a good thing. I mean, I went to a grammar school and most of the kids were nice. I'm still kind of confused on how I got into a grammar school because I'm honestly really dumb.
They spoke so nicely. You could tell that they had been brought up very differently to me. I tried to make friends, but nobody was interested. Oh well, I didn't care. I was fine by myself, but one girl seemed to really not like me. Her name was Megan.
Okay, so it looks like she's got beef with somebody called Megan. I feel like people called Megan always have a problem with everything. It's always people called Megan and Emily that are always like massive troublemakers.
You are so common,
She said to me one day nastily.
you don't belong here.
Why did she have to be so mean? What had I ever done to her? One day, I was sitting having my lunch in the corner. I always sat there. I tried to keep away from the others. I was just finishing my lunch when a boy walked in that I hadn't seen before.
Oh my gosh, I've got a feeling we're gonna get hit with a love story. Imagine falling in love with a rich boy, your parents are rich, and now you're gonna marry into a rich family. Honestly, it must be like winning the lottery.
Oh my god, I thought to myself, he's so cute. All the other girls obviously thought so too. They were all smiling at him and trying to catch his eye. I knew I would have no chance with him.
You don't know, he could be interested in you. I've got a feeling he's like the sports guy or like the popular boy in school. All the girls want to fall in love and marry him.
I stood up and went to put my lunch tray away. As I walked to the canteen, I didn't see Megan stick her foot out. I tripped over it and landed on the floor. My tray of food went flying in the air and landed on my head. I wanted to cry. I was so embarrassed. Everyone was laughing. "Leave her alone," said a voice. I looked up. It was the good-looking boy. He smiled at me. My heart skipped a beat.
Maybe Megan was trying to impress him by bullying another girl, but he didn't like that. I feel like a lot of people do that. Like, they always try to act tough or act different in front of their crush. Don't do it. Trust me, people have done it in front of me before, and it's not nice. Like, you just look like a weirdo, honestly. Just, ugh. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's just making me cringe.
"I'm Luke," he said.
You don't want anything to do with her,
Says Megan.
she is not one of us.
"Actually, I think she's cute," says Luke. He held out his hand and pulled me to my feet. I nearly melted there and then.
Don't let Megan see that. She's gonna be jealous. Megan already doesn't like her, and this is gonna annoy her even more. I feel like this always happens in these animations. Like, the girl who's not used to the environment always falls in love with the hot boy, and some random boy or girl's always jealous. I bet you she's gonna end up in jail.
"Come on, let's go for a walk," Luke said. I followed Luke outside, still holding his hand. "I think you're really cute," Luke said. Am I hearing things? Is this a dream? I know I'm blushing. Do you want to be my girlfriend?
Oh my gosh, this is happening so quickly. They literally met each other for the first time and they're already asking each other out. Something fishy's going on. Like, I don't like the sound of this. Is Luke possibly a gold digger?
Is he serious? I thought. Yes, I answered. We started dating and almost straight away we got really serious. Luke was a bit shocked when he saw my house. "I knew your parents were rich," he said, "but this house is a billionaire's house."
Yeah, I've got a feeling he is a bit of a gold digger. I don't want to ruin the video, but I've got a feeling that something is going on. Like, I don't know what's going on, but something's going on. A plot has begun.
About a month later, I was walking home from school when a car pulled up in front of me. Before I knew what was happening, the doors opened and I was being bundled into the back of the car. I was blindfolded. The car started moving. I had no idea where we were going.
So she just got kidnapped. Hello, this girl got kidnapped. Oh my gosh, has Luke kidnapped her? I know it's been Luke or Megan. Them two have literally just kidnapped her. They've planned it together. I knew they've done it.
The car stopped and someone pulled me out of it. They took me to a room and sat me on a chair. They tied my wrists behind my back and took off the blindfold. My eyes blinked at the bright light and I could just about make out a man and a woman standing there.
Wait a minute, I've just thought something. You know how her parents died in a car crash but they didn't find the body and then she was adopted by a rich family? Do you think her parents have faked their death so it means now they can get money? Oh my gosh, I've got a feeling something like that's going on. She's literally been kidnapped by her biological family and they're gonna ask for like a ransom or something like that.
What do you want with me? I asked. You just stay quiet and don't be any trouble, the man said. As soon as your parents pay the ransom, you can go. Then they left me. So that was it. They wanted money for me. The only time I saw them over the next few days was when they slid a tray of food in. Why was this taking so long? My adoptive parents have the money, I thought.
Exactly, where are the parents and where are the police? If a 15-year-old goes missing, especially if she's the daughter of billionaires, just know that every single police officer would be out looking for her.
I heard the door open. I looked up. I couldn't believe my eyes. In the doorway was Luke. I jumped up and ran to him, but he pushed me away. I thought you'd come to rescue me, I said. Rescue you? He asked. I'm the one that kidnapped you.
Oh my gosh, I knew it. I knew it. Luke has literally kidnapped her. I don't know what to say, you guys. I'm honestly shook. Luke is literally asking for a ransom so that he can get money. No wonder he asked her out straight away.
I couldn't believe my ears. Did you ever love me? I asked. He laughed. Of course not. I only love money. Now I have to work out what to do with you. He left, slamming the door behind him. I heard him say to the man and woman, I'm gonna talk to my bosses and find out what they want me to do with her. Then I heard a car driving away. I sat there with tears rolling down my eyes. How could Luke be so cruel? Now I have no one.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what's happened? Has he done this before? Are her biological parents involved? Remember, she wasn't allowed near the computer. Something sketchy's going on, you guys.
I heard the door opening again. I was expecting to see a tray of food sliding towards me, but instead, the man and woman came into the room. Quickly, come with us, the man said. We are going to save you. Now I was really confused. What's going on? I followed them outside and got into their car. The man drives, but the woman gets into the back of the car with me. As we pulled off, she turned to me and said, Oh, darling, we have missed you so much. I looked at her, shocked. Her voice sounded just like my mom's.
I told you, the parents were involved. You guys, I literally predict all of these things. The parents fake their deaths so that their child would go up for adoption, get adopted by rich people so that they could get money. I'm literally Albert Einstein. I told you guys, remember? I literally told you this was gonna happen.
But my mom is dead. Yes, darling, she cried. It's me, Mom. I felt like I was going to faint. But you and Dad died in a car crash, I say. Mom goes on to explain everything. You see, Dad and I work for the FBI. We have been following Luke and his gang for months. We had to fake our own deaths and go undercover to catch them.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. So the parents worked for the FBI, hence why she wasn't allowed in the computer. Oh my god, that's kind of cool. Like, imagine my parents were in the FBI. That would be so cool. Like, I Luke, want to join it. Wouldn't it be like so secretive?
But Luke is still out there, I cry. No, darling, says Dad. Luke and his gang have just been arrested. You are safe now. The Johnsons were all part of our team.
Well, that was a crazy story, wasn't it? Oh my gosh, I don't know how to feel, but I definitely want to react to more of their videos in the future. Anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the subscribe button. I've linked the channel down in the description down below, so definitely go and check them out. And yes, I will see you all in my next video.